Let me tell you something that most men will never admit out loud. They've been in situations where they thought a woman might like them, but they weren't sure. They second guessed every smile, replayed every word in their heads, and ended up talking themselves out of believing it. Why? Because they didn't want to look foolish. They didn't want to assume and risk being wrong. But here's the truth most guys don't realize. Women rarely walk up to you and say, I like you. Instead, they speak a completely different language, one that doesn't use direct words at all. It's a language of small gestures, lingering moments, subtle invitations, and if you can't read it, you'll miss it. And when you miss it, you miss her. Think back to a time when you were talking to a woman and something just felt different. Maybe she laughed at your joke even though it wasn't that funny. Maybe you caught her eyes on you from across the room and she looked away the moment you noticed. Maybe the conversation kept drifting to small personal topics like where you grew up, what you do on weekends, or how you take your coffee. At the time, you didn't think much of it. But later, when you were alone, you wondered, was she trying to tell me something? Here's the thing. Women are masters of subtlety. They can tell you they like you without saying a single word. And they do it because it protects them. It's safer. They don't have to risk outright rejection. But if you learn how to spot these signals, you'll see that their actions are often louder than their words. I'm not talking about guessing games or reading into nothing. I'm talking about patterns, real repeatable behaviors that women show every single time they're attracted to a man. Once you know them, you'll stop overthinking. You'll stop wondering and you'll start knowing. Today, I'm going to reveal the 3 signs a woman who likes you will show without fail. Signs most men never notice, but once you do, you'll never look at her the same way again. My name is Adam, and welcome to Stoic Paradox, the place where we strip away the noise, the games, and the confusion, and look directly at human nature for what it is. Here, we don't chase trends or play guessing games. We look at life through the lens of clarity, self-respect, and psychology that has stood the test of time. And when it comes to attraction, that clarity is everything. Because most men are wandering in the dark, hoping they'll stumble onto the truth. I've seen it over and over again. Good men missing out on real connection. Not because the opportunity wasn't there, but because they didn't see it. A woman could be standing right in front of them, giving them clear signs she's interested. But those signs are so subtle that if you're not tuned in, they'll fly right past you. That's how men end up years later looking back at moments and thinking, wait, she actually liked me. By then it's too late. The moment's gone. She's gone. The reality is, attraction isn't always loud. It's not always obvious. Women don't walk up to you and hand you a neon sign that says, I want you. Instead, they operate in a quieter way. They test the waters, they protect themselves, they give you little pieces of the puzzle to see if you can put them together. And if you can't, they simply move on to someone who can. That's why knowing these signs isn't about being a pickup artist or some smooth-talking player. It's about understanding human behavior so well that you can see truth in the smallest details. It's about moving through your interactions without second-guessing yourself or missing opportunities that were right there for the taking. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 of the clearest, most reliable signs that a woman who likes you will show every single time. They're not based on guesswork or wishful thinking. They're based on patterns I've seen over and over again in real-world situations. And once you see them, you'll never be unsure again. So, if you're ready to stop living in uncertainty and start seeing reality for what it is, let's break it down. We've set the stage. Now, let's break down these signs. Not with vague advice or recycled body language tips you've heard 100 times, but with a raw, clear look at how attraction plays out in the real world. Sign number 1. Her eyes don't just look at you, they search for you. Eye contact is the oldest language on earth. Older than speech, older than written words, older than every romantic phrase you could ever think of. But here's where most men mess it up. They think if a woman likes them, she'll lock eyes and hold that gaze with moving intensity. And while that sometimes happens, it's not the most common reality. If a woman is truly interested, her eyes behave differently. They search for you, even when she's talking to someone else. Her eyes will do small, subtle check ins with you. You could be across the room or just on the edge of her vision, but she'll glance at you again and again, almost like she's making sure you're still there. And here's the subtle part most men never see: she won't always hold the gaze when you catch her. In fact, if she is into you, she'll often look away quickly when you notice, not because she's shy, but because that moment felt electric. And breaking the gaze helps her keep control of the situation. You might even notice what I call the half smile flicker, where you catch her eye and she instinctively smiles for half a second before she hides it. That's attraction leaking out in real time. A woman who doesn't care won't do this. She'll glance at you the same way she glances at a chair or a window, with zero repetition, zero pattern. But a woman who likes you, her eyes will find you again and again without her even realizing it. Sign number 2. She mirrors you, but not in the way you think. Mirroring is a term that gets thrown around a lot in dating advice, but here's the truth. Most explanations are surface level. People will say, if she crosses her arms when you do, she's mirroring you. And yes, sometimes it's that literal. But when a woman likes you, the mirroring goes deeper. It's not just about posture, it's about emotional rhythm. If you're leaning in when you speak, she leans in too, but not because she's consciously thinking about it. It's her subconscious aligning with yours, almost like two dancers falling into the same tempo without talking about it. You'll notice her laughter starts matching your timing. You'll notice that if you become more animated, her energy rises too. If you slow your voice down, she slows hers down. This is her nervous system syncing with yours. A primal way of saying, I'm with you. I'm safe with you. I'm on your wavelength. There's also proximity mirroring, which is even more telling. You might shift your chair slightly toward her, and within a minute, she's adjusted her position closer to yours. Or if you lean your arm on the table, she places her arm in a similar way. And here's the golden rule. Women don't mirror men they are uncomfortable with. They'll do the opposite. They'll create small mismatches to keep distance. If she's mirroring you in a consistent, relaxed way, that's not random. That's connection. Sign number 3, her words are small bridges to you. This is the most overlooked sign, and it's not about body language at all. It's about the way she shapes the conversation. Women who like you don't just react to what you say. They create pathways for you to step closer. These pathways usually come in the form of low-effort invitations disguised as casual comments. She might say things like, I've been wanting to check out that new place. I hate going to the farmer's market alone. That movie you mentioned. I've been dying to see it. She's not just making conversation. She's testing whether you'll take the lead and create an opportunity to spend time together. Another way she does this is by asking you personal but comfortable questions. She'll dig a little deeper, asking about your childhood memories, your favorite food, your goals, your family. Not in an interview style, but in a curious, I want to know more about you way. And here's the thing. Women don't invest that kind of curiosity into men they see as background characters in their lives. If she's putting energy into understanding who you are beyond the surface, she's emotionally opening the door. One of the clearest tells, she remembers small details you've mentioned in past conversations, sometimes even weeks later. That means she's been thinking about you when you weren't around. That's not random interest. That's attraction making itself known in the quiet moments between interactions. The pattern that ties all 3 signs together. These signs, her searching eyes, her subconscious mirroring, her subtle invitations, all come down to one core truth. When a woman likes you, she finds reasons to stay connected to you, even in the smallest ways. It's not always dramatic, it's not always obvious. Sometimes it's just a quick glance, a match gesture, or a comment that leaves the door slightly open for you to walk through. But if you start recognizing these patterns, you'll realize something powerful. You've probably missed them before. You've probably had women like you without you ever knowing. And the moment you start seeing them, your confidence changes. You stop feeling like you're stumbling in the dark. You stop chasing validation. Instead, you start choosing how to respond. And that's when the entire game shifts in your favor. Now that you know these three signs, I want you to understand something important. Most men will watch a video like this, nod their heads, and then go right back to missing the signals in real life. They'll go back into conversations distracted, overthinking their responses, and completely blind to what's actually happening right in front of them. And here's why. Knowledge. Without awareness is useless. The next time you're around a woman you suspect might like you, I want you to slow everything down. Don't just hear her words, watch her eyes. Don't just listen to her tone. Notice her timing. Pay attention to her posture, her proximity, and whether her actions keep pulling her toward you, even in small ways, because here's the truth. Once you start seeing these patterns, you can't unsee them. And when you do see them, you'll notice something else. The power dynamic shifts. You stop wondering if you're good enough or her type, and you start realizing that attraction is a two-way street. You're not just waiting to be chosen, you're choosing too. I want you to think about how different your life would feel if you never had to second guess whether someone liked you, how much more confident you'd be in your conversations, how much more effortless it would be to flirt, connect, and create opportunities without fear of misreading the moment. That's what these signs give you, not just insight, but clarity. And clarity is confidence. So here's my challenge for you over the next week. Pay close attention in your everyday interactions. You might be shocked to realize that women you thought were just being nice were actually showing you one, two, or even all three of these signs. And if you spot them, don't overcomplicate it. Take the lead. Start the conversation. Create the opportunity because attraction dies in hesitation. If this video gave you a new way of seeing things, imagine how much more you could learn if you made this part of your routine. That's why I make these videos to give you tools, not just theories. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because every week here on Stoic Paradox, we break down human behavior, psychology, and attraction in ways you won't hear anywhere else. And if you really want to take this further, drop a comment below telling me the most subtle sign of attraction you've ever noticed in real life or the one you realized after it was too late. Your story might help another man see what has been missing. At the end of the day, attraction isn't a mystery, it's a pattern. And a woman who likes you will always show you if you have the eyes to see.